Welcome to Derail Valley Simulator. Today, I'm going to be talking about some of the changes that this update has brought. There is now a menu, and you can now have multiple saves with each of their own settings. There's also a new career mode and sandbox mode that you can customize each setting to the way you like it, or use one of the difficulty priests. There's three. First is standard, second is comfort, and the last one is realistic. Also, you can edit the weather settings, so like the rain, the time of day, the fog, and the wind, that type of stuff. You can also edit the type of train you start off with. So, yeah. And some of these settings can change the amount of money you can make, or the amount of damage that the trains can take, or how much it costs to repair the locomotives, and some other things. And then after this, I'll show you the new UI and how that works, and everything else that's been added. With the update, it brings a new UI to the game, and a new inventory layout. It also brings third person to the game, along with a photo mode to get the shots like you seen in the beginning of the video. The new UI can be used to control trains, and also start them, and connect them together. But you can change the way the UI works in the settings before you start the game. Also, the UI can show you the controls for the game. The way you get the UI up is by pressing F4 or going into the alt mode. Also, you might have to be in a train, like in a locomotive, to get the UI to come up when you go into like third person, or like the follow mode, which is F2 and F3. That is the way to get into third person. F2 is follow mode, so you can follow your train, and then F3 is a free, fly around mode. Also, with the new UI, you can start up steam locomotives without having to go back into first person to shovel coal into the firebox, or to inject water into the boiler, or trying to open the cylinder cocks to get the excess water out of the pistons, and other things, because you can do all of that through the UI, which you probably watched me do that here when I hit the shovel button. You just have to have the fire door open to get into the firebox, obviously. Some of the new game mechanics is that the trains now sway back and forth because of the new suspension, and there's also new derailment physics. Also, locomotives blow up now, and traction motors for the diesel-electric locomotives can now overheat and blow the traction motor breaker in the cab, and you will have to reactivate the breaker. Also, if you overheat the traction motor enough, then they will stop working, and you'll have to get them repaired or get a whole new locomotive, which obviously that kinda sucks because it ruins your time. Also, the water is no longer a solid. It is now a liquid, which means if you crash and go into the water, you will have to swim for your locomotive or your whole train, depending on how much derails, to get it back on the tracks. And steam engines, their boilers now explode if there's not enough water to keep them from overheating, and which you'll see like right now. And so you get spaghetti train, just delicious. Earlier, I said that the derailment physics got changed, and what has changed is that when you derail, the locomotive will now take the train with it, or as much as possible, depending on how fast you were going. And now derailing is a lot more satisfying when it happens, because they also made it to where derailing will lead to dust clouds getting generated when you derail. Also, when you're in sandbox mode, you can use the comms radio to spawn trains, damage trains, or derail trains. Also, you can use the cargo loader to load train cars to make the train heavier, so if you want to do like a runaway, you could do that. So, I think that'd be pretty fun. Now, with this update, weather and a day and night cycle was put into the game, and the day and night cycle takes 2 hours in IRL to complete one cycle. But in the settings, you can change the amount of time it takes in real life to complete one cycle. Now, with the weather, it's always changing between a little bit of rain or sunny, but if you want it to be a lot more aggressive with a lot of lightning, then when you're in the settings, set the weather editor from photo mode to on so that you can adjust it to the way you want, and if you want to the way you want it to be. And if you want to change the day and night cycle in game, then enable the setting to allow you to change the time and the length of the day. Now, with the whole derailment physics that I was talking about, as you can see, as the locomotives derail, more cars start to derail because it was moving fast enough to have all that velocity and momentum carry more rail cars off the rails and onto the ground, which is how derailments in real life work. So I think it's pretty cool that they're trying to make this like one of the most realistic train simulators that you can do whatever you want, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. If you don't got this game, you should buy it. You honestly should buy this game. It's very good, very fun, and once the mods start getting made for this update, you're gonna see new locomotives, a lot more, because mod support. It's just gonna be really cool, and I can't wait to see how this game, how much more this game changes in the future, because they're doing a really good job for such a small, game developing studio. And this is another reason why I feel like I could be able to make a Galaxy Railways game if I had the right, computer and a developing team to help me with it, because I honestly think that'd be pretty cool to have. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of this music, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, share this video to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Enjoy the rest of the music, and I'll see you out there on the railways.